Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today our topic is degrees of price elasticity of demand. And generally we have 5 degrees of elasticity of demand. Let's elaborate them one by one. The first degree of elasticity of demand is relatively elastic demand, or this is also called more elastic demand. More elastic demand. Relatively elastic demand or more elastic demand. Here the coefficient of elasticity of demand is denoted as elasticity of demand greater than 1. So what is elasticity of demand greater than 1 or more elastic demand? When a small change in price, when a small change in price leads to big change in quantity demand. So when a small change in price leads to big change in quantity demand, it is called a relatively elastic demand. That means when the change in price is less, but change in demand is more. This is called relatively elastic demand, and this can be better explained with the help of a diagram. Take the example here. This is, for example, from y-axis we measure price, and from x-axis we measure quantity demand. Let's take the example, if OP is price, OQ is quantity demand. If this is price and this is demand. Now let's suppose if the price falls, if this is fall in price falls from OP to OP1. Now price is OP1, price falls, and the demand rises. It rises, we know when price falls, demand rises. Demand rises from OQ to OQ1, but change in demand is more than change in price. So this is change in demand. It is more, it is obvious here in the diagram, it is more than change in price. So if we join these pointers, let's name this point A and let's name this point B. We join these pointers, we get a demand curve. Let's name this as D dash. So here elasticity of demand, this diagram shows that this is here the elasticity of demand is greater than 1. Why? Because there is small change in price. Here simply we can say here change in price is less than change in demand. So price में change कम है, demand में change ज़्यादा है. So when there is more change in demand as compared to price, this is called relatively elastic demand. And if we look at the demand curve here, this is demand curve. The demand curve is to some extent the demand curve is flatter. It is flatter. Why? Because it is more inclined. The demand curve is inclined. Here it is inclined towards x-axis. जो हमारी demand curve है, it is inclined towards x-axis. मतलब जो हमारे यहाँ पे डिमांड करो है, ये ज्यादातर झुकी हुई है, इसका झुकाव ज्यादातर एक्स एक्सिस की तरफ ज्यादा है. So when the demand curve is more inclined, here simply we can say, we will write here demand curve, that is dd dash, is more inclined towards x axis. So when the demand curve is more inclined towards x axis, then elasticity of demand is greater than 1. And there are, or more simply we can say, when the demand curve is flatter, then elasticity of demand is greater than 1. That is relatively or more elastic demand. There are goods in the economy where the demand curve is more elastic. For example, demand for luxury goods. जो luxury goods होते हैं, जो ऐश व अशरत के जो सामान होते हैं, luxury goods, उनकी जो डिमांड होती है, it is more elastic. That is when जब उनका प्राइस थोड़ा चेंज हो जाता है, तो उनकी डिमांड ज्यादा चेंज हो जाती है. So that means when their price falls, a small change in price leads to big change in demand. This is relatively elastic demand. In the next lecture we will explain more the types of elasticity of demand. Thank you very much.